everyone, Raid Designs here, and today we've got another tutorial. I'm going to do a little bit of a Twitch overlay, just kind of the run through of how to make a simple Twitch overlay for streaming. I'll show you a few examples. Let me just open them up real quick. Oh man, I gotta just find a few because a lot of this is... Here is an example I made for Darth. It is Hello My Name Is, of course, very, simple, but it looks very good, and it's very effective. Gets the viewer's point, and it doesn't take too much away from the actual gameplay, which is perfect for what we are trying to do. Now, before we even start this, I want to just say that if you're looking at this template that I have, this template I made for you guys, it is in my 40,000 subscribers graphics pack. You can go download it, and it is in the templates. So you don't have to ask me 300 times in the description, in the comments, where's the template? It's in the 40,000 subscribers pack. If you don't want to make if you want to make your own template, the image size, I believe, is 1280 by 720. It is. Anyways, so of course you're going to have this template. There's going to be a bunch of guidelines all over here. If I were you, I really would just do what I usually do, which is this. I usually make my own every single time. So I clear my guides. And of course you see the modules. Now of course the bottom module is a definite and the top module is going to be definite. Now these optional modules on the left and right side, you can make a full screen, but of course, here I'm trying to figure out, is this it? Yeah, like here is, if I keep duplicating this to make it a perfect solid, you guys can kind of see, it kind of just cuts out that middle, or it's almost like too much. So like if you just were to make the top and bottom, it's very simple. So of course we can just, I don't even remember what layer that is, but yeah, we can pretty much just take that off, and we're just going to use a simple new layer, and we're going to want to go, and you're going to hit Command R to see your rulers. Now the reason we're going to use rulers is going to make sure that this is perfectly centered. Use rulers for everything. Just grab the side, and you'll find the middle. It'll snap to the middle, and you just kind of let go of the snapping areas, and that's basically how you're going to start everything off. Now, if you guys saw, you don't have to keep your rulers up here. You just hit Command R again. If you guys saw the other one, everything was very weird, and not necessarily weird, but it was just cool different weird shapes that actually looked very good. So what we're going to do here is I always start off with a very dark gray, so about 112, and I zoom in pretty far, about 300, and I take my pen tool, and this is very simple, is I do something like this. Make a very small, now, sorry, before we even get started, excuse me, we're going to, of course, make sure that you're going to try to put a main text focal point. So do you want it in the middle, which should be around here, this area? That's that's cool. If you want your text right here, that's cool. If you want it on the right side, cool. But you got to make sure that you set it up to where it's perfect. Now on this tutorial, I'm going to show you guys how to make it just a middle focal point. Very simple, a lot easier to portray, a lot easier to do. What we're going to do here is we're just going to make a really small line, and then I'm going to make a huge slant and kind of just make something like this. Excuse me, and if we zoom out, it's going to look a little something like that. It's a little bit too much of a huge dip. I'm going to make that smaller. There we go. And we're going to just fill it. Oop. Fill the path. You can use this black, dark, gray, whatever it is, and you're just going to want to do that. Pretty simple. Pretty easy, to the point. Now, if you are wanting to use a color, I'll show you. So say, we'll actually use a color here. Say you want to do we'll do like a green. You're going to want to go almost down in the middle of, of your little color selection. Color picker is what they call it. You're going to go in the middle and make it extremely dark, and you're just going to want to select your color. Like I said, very middle, dark, and you're going to want to just fill it in like that. Then once you have that done, you just can duplicate that, and you're going to flip it this way. And that is where your rulers come in handy, is they are your guidelines, whatever you want to call them, come in handy is because, and we're going to merge this layer. Oh, I am so sorry. We almost screwed that up, guys. Merge. And as you can see, if I pull the ruler away, it's perfectly aligned up, perfectly centered, and it's awesome. Alright. Now, after we have that done, we're going to want to, of course, this looks very, very bland. There's many different ways you can do it. Me, personally, I like to just add an accent to it. Almost like a completely different shape. Just going to be almost a rectangle. This should work. And of course, make sure that you're aligned pretty well with this. And that looks pretty cool. And then we're going to just duplicate the same thing, flip it horizontally, and pull it over here again. Now, as you guys can see, you can merge these all together, and we are starting to get, a cool border looking thing. Now, I also like to do different stuff like this. Almost like we cut out something right here. Almost like it's kind of like a fill type thing. Really kind of just depends what you like out of it. And actually, before you do those fills, make sure you don't duplicate this. So you're going to want to have it on both, so fill right here. Sorry for the not talking, but pen tooling is very, you got to make sure that everything's perfect. And then once you have that, of course, then you can duplicate this. So, of course, very simple shape making, pretty easy stuff, if you ask me. You're going to merge this, and here we're going to go into the layer style of this whole thing. We're going to go, and we're going to do a gradient overlay. Now, if it's coming from the top, you're going to want to have the black on the top, white on the bottom. And you're going to switch the opacity to about 5. All it does is it kind of gives it the simulation of an overlay instead of actually doing the overlay and giving the black feeling to it and the white feeling to it. You just give it, 5. Kind of looks cool that way. We're going to add a stroke. Stroke we're going to do, I'd like to do, a gray, a lighter gray. Give it about 1 for the, we'll give it a darker gray, something like that. That looks good. And then add a drop shadow to it. You add about 2020 or 0-20-20 as your settings. We'll do about 60%, and that's basically your starting. So that's your top area. Very, very simple, very, very cool, very, very effective. Now we're going to do the bottom area. Of course, before we even do this, copy the layer style. Just right-click and copy the layer style. And we're going to go over, and for your bottom layer, what I suggest is doing something to where the viewers are not in the middle right here, because I like this area when I watch streams, I like having this area, accessible. A lot of, people you'll make them for, they'll be like, oh no, I want it flashing here. Who cares about the score? And who the hell cares about how much ammo or your kill streak that you're on? You just kind of, in my opinion, I do something a little bit like this. And you just kind of fill it with the green, same green, should be. And then you go duplicate that. And you have something like this. Should be centered. You can check by switching the guides, and you just paste your layer style right back on it. And of course, it's going to look weird, so we're just going to switch this from the top to, or the black to the white on top to bottom. Just flip it back to reverse, might be the other way, and it just looks cooler that way, in my opinion. Of course, other people could argue with it, but it's just what I like to do. I think it looks cooler. That's just, how I feel. Now, here is another way to make your, just more accents to the border. You're going to hold Command and Shift, and you're going to click both of the thumbnails to select them and create a new layer. Now this is just easier than actually creating a clipping mask. I like to use actual layers just because a lot easier sometimes. And you're going to add some cool grunge brushes to it. You can add grunge brushes, you can add tech brushes, whatever, anything cool to it to give it just a little bit more of like that cool feeling to it. So I have some grunge brushes right here. And you can just, add different sporadic areas. And you're going to want to just switch those to overlay, of course. You can screw with the opacity, completely up to you. Not at all. I mean, there's no setting, setting for it. I mean, it's really completely up to you. I have some more cool brushes. By the way, if you guys do want a brush pack, let me know. Leave a comments or something like that. So just let me know if you guys want them. And then after that, we're going to add some cool stuff, maybe some techie stuff to just kind of give it more of like that feel. I have these really cool ones that are in my brush pack, in my 40K pack, with these really cool looking things like this. And a bunch of them. Like there's this one, and they just kind of add more of a, an eye-appealing thing to it. Of course, you don't want it to be too eye-appealing because, it is a border. You want to keep it subtle, and you're just going to switch those to overlay once again. Maybe screw with the opacity a little bit more. And now, of course, it looks so much cooler to look at. It's something to look at. It's something cool, and it's something a lot more eye-appealing. Now, here comes where the text comes. Text, this is where you guys really can just do whatever the hell you want. Now, placements. I'm really just going to show you placements here. This is very simple 2D design. This is very simple template design. Of course, 2D design. It's very, very intricate, even though it doesn't look too intricate. But for people that don't know, you'll learn this in design school. Your eye is a magnet, or the text, or type is what they call it. Type, what's it called? A human face, and also anything with a glow or something on it like that, like an orb, is a magnet for the human eye. So if you have good text, you are going to legitimately, it's perfect. There's nothing, I mean, you cannot fail. So make sure that is the #1 thing with these types of layout type stuff. Everything is, it needs to be eye appealing. If the text is perfect eye appealing, then you're really going to have a successful product. It's just what it is. And I really shouldn't be calling this template design just because this really isn't template design. I mean, InDesign would be more of a layout and that type of stuff, and we can't really do that. I mean, you can do this in InDesign, but it's not really something that I would recommend doing it in. But I'm going to go through and find it, in my opinion, you don't want to use too much, like too big, like crazy of a font, but you do want to use something that's pretty cool. Like for instance, you know, let's use Gotham Black. Why not? One of the big things that a lot of people have been doing lately is light to bold or regular to bold. Completely up to you. I like that. I think it's cool. So for instance, if we're making this one, say we're making this for somebody who streams. So let's just say Darth and Roddy or Chris or somebody, you know, someone who's not necessarily a streamer, but you know. So you go to Gotham Book. You make your Darth text the clan text. Light and the actual name text a little bit, you know, like a bold feel to it, and it just gives it even more of a professional look to it because you know he's in Darth, but his real name's Rhodey. Branding his own name, that is the #1 thing, and I will sit there and I will say 100%. Don't, if you're a designer, don't brand your clan name. Don't call yourself Darth something, Obey something, Phase this, Dare this. You are your own designer. That is the one thing that is wrong with this community is people think that because you know you have a name in front of your actual name that's your brand. It's not someone else's completely. But anyways, we're gonna go to a color overlay. I usually use like this, you know, an off white, just like in my last tutorial. Do not use a solid white. It is bad. It looks horrible when you render it. Of course, I use my own layer style here. It doesn't really matter the layer style here. This is what I do. I just use a gloss. So you switch the angle to 119 on Bevel and Emboss. 0 altitude, size 0. 25% opacity for the highlight mode. And black shadow mode, I keep it 75%. I go to inner shadow, 1 distance, 0 choke, 1 size. Untick globe or use global light. 90-degree angle, opacity 100%, switch the color to white and the blend mode to overlay, and it gives it another, you know, popping out type feel. And with this, really just doesn't matter what your drop shadow is. Feel free to do whatever. I would recommend not doing too much of a drop shadow. Ruins it. So here I'm just going to show you guys basically where you can put everything because a lot of people will just be like, okay, there's my overlay, where am I going to be stuck? Well, you pretty much have an open canvas to do whatever the hell you want. The only thing, the reason I give you a screenshot with it is because this is for Call of Duty. You know where you can and can't go. Yeah, I have it blurred in the back. The reason I have it blurred is because I pretty much have it memorized. But yeah, so you make a little text box or whatever. So we'll say right here, Twitter, and you can do all the different Twitter stuff right here. You know, you can put like, you know, follow me at Twitter, follow me at this Twitter, and then put the Twitter icon, and then his stuff there. And say he has a YouTube channel or a Twitch, depending upon what you're doing. If this is a video overlay, if this is, you know, you can do, so say here we'll do YouTube. And then say for down here. So here we can use sponsors. So if he's sponsored by Control Freak, you put a Control Freak logo down here. Oh, I almost spelled I spelled Control Freak on. What is wrong with me? And of course, you're going to want to make your font a lot smaller for these because you know you want to get people to buy more of the product, not the font. So of course you'll put like, you know, percentage off here. And, you know, you can add the logo, blah, 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 blah. And it's the same type of thing right here. But instead of doing that type of look, you're going to want to add this here and this here, that type of look. And it's going to look awesome. And then a lot of people, you know, they like to have, you know, animations and stuff. And you can do that. It's perfectly fine. Completely up to you. You can add animations of, like, people running or, you know, logos going back and forth, whatever it is. If you want to learn animations, I can do another tutorial on that. It's very long. It takes forever. But it is very, very cool for those types of overlays. But anyways, to save these... what I would recommend is before you even save, make sure that this is not too dark, or if it's not dark enough, darken it a little bit. So here, I like it, but you know, if you were to darken it a little bit, add like a curve to it, maybe something like that. And it just kind of gives a little bit more contrast to it, of course. And that's it. I mean, that's pretty much your overlay. Looks pretty good. But anyways, guys, I want you guys to do me a favor. Like, comment, if you guys can. If not, understood. But, of course, please, check out everything you possibly can. I just got sponsored by Control Freak. You can use the code RATED7 for 10% off on any Control Freak products. It's pretty awesome. If you play Call of Duty or any Xbox stuff, the FPS freaks are awesome. But on top of that, please check out all of my social media stuff. I'm trying to do my best at, really expanding and uploading more and more and more every week, trying to blow my channel up. But anyways, guys, thank you guys so much, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and we're going to leave some comments for more tutorials, too, if you guys want to see other stuff. But anyways, I've been,